This is the Pixel 8 Pro, and I'm not going to waste any time introducing the phone because I really want to get down to business. I want to address the two main concerns that you folks might have. How's the new Tensor G3 chip on the phone? Does it throttle? Does it heat up? And is the camera performance improved enough to beat the new champion iPhone 15 Pro Max? Well, I'll answer all those questions and more in this detailed performance review and camera test versus the iPhone 15 Pro Max. If you're here for the first time, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Okay, before I get down to the benchmark results of the Pixel 8 Pro, allow me to rant a little. The only variant of the Pixel 8 Pro that is available in India currently is the 128GB variant. I mean, don't Indians need more storage space? And apart from that, the storage speeds are abysmally slow. I mean, even for the UFS 3.1 storage type, the read speed is fine, but the write speed is weirdly very low on our unit of the Pixel 8 Pro. It's actually lower than even the OnePlus Nord 3 with UFS 3.1. Alright, moving on from that little rant of mine, the Pixel 8 Pro actually comes with Tensor G3 like I mentioned. Firstly, you all should know that the Tensor G3 is based on the Samsung 4nm fab. It's very similar to the Exynos 2200. And secondly, I have to say this specifically is that this is the current build of the phone that we're running the phone at. By the way, there's a 199 MB update for this build and it took 45 minutes for it to install. Google seriously needs to improve the install speeds of updates for sure. And I mentioned that it is important for me to mention the build numbers because all of the new features on the Pixel 8 Pro were added after we installed the build. Anyway, moving on to the benchmarks in Android version 10, the Pixel 8 Pro scores over 1 million points, which is lower than the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 inside the Nothing Phone 2. In fact, even the Geekbench scores are lower than that of the Nothing Phone 2. For a phone that costs over 1 lakh rupees, the performance scores are not very exciting. Anyway, there's already a teardown video of the Pixel 8 Pro in which there is a graphite sheet that Google has used to cool down the Tensor G3 itself. But I feel that we might need a proper vapor cooling chamber, and I'll tell you why. So basically, the CPU throttles a lot. We ran the CPU throttle test before we got the update, and we got a CPU stability score of 54%. And after running the test, we got a CPU stability score of 51%. And we actually engaged 40 threads for 30 minutes. So it's an intensive test, and it's not really performing well. Thankfully, the GPU doesn't throttle as much. In our 3D Mark wireless test, it got a GPU stability score of about 70%, and the temperature rose to 44 degrees. And you know what? I actually tortured the Pixel 8 Pro by running Genshin Impact on the phone at medium graphics and 60 frames per second, and we played for about 20 minutes and captured the FPS data. So I got an average FPS about 53.5, and the temperature again rose to 44 degrees. I think that's like kind of the ceiling that I'm noticing with the temperature rise on the Pixel 8 Pro. It's not going beyond 44 degrees, so it doesn't get too hot. But like I mentioned, instead of that graphite sheet, Google could have added a proper vapor cooling chamber. That way the temperatures would also have been lower and it wouldn't have to throttle so much either. Now I know that most of you will be like, Pixel fans don't really care about raw performance. We love the software features and the AI enabled features that you get with the Pixel 8 Pro. Well, let's talk about that now. And most of the AI features are related to the camera, so we're going to be talking about the camera. And every year Google keeps adding some or the other software update, and some of these features are actually very, very useful. And I'm really curious, how many Pixel 7 Pro users in the audience actually use that magic eraser feature or even the face unblur feature regularly? It feels very useful to me. Anyway, moving on to the camera features on the Pixel 8 Pro, a few new ones that Google announced at the stage. I won't be able to test it until December because that's when it will get it. So these features include the zoom enhancer feature. There's like a night sight for video as well, and a video boost too. Again, none of this can be tested right now, but it does look impressive in action. We'll have to wait and watch how that actually works though. Now moving on to the features that are actually available on the Pixel 8 Pro, there's something called Best Take, which is pretty awesome. Now, when the feature leaked first, there was a fear that Google is actually transposing, people's faces in a group photo. Well, that's not what is happening out here. Essentially, what happens is that when you take a burst photo or a, series of shots and there are different facial expressions of people, you can actually change the facial expression to whichever one that you like. And it happens pretty seamlessly. And the kind of results that you get to see are pretty impressive as well. But there are times when certain pixels don't match with each other in the background and the foreground as well. So you will see certain anomalies, but it's okay. This is in its first stage right now and it's still doing pretty well. The magic eraser feature that Google announced with the Pixel 7 Pro, that is now a magic editor now, and there's so much that you can do with it. I'll tell you why, because not only can you erase objects that you want to from a picture that you've captured, you can actually move them around in the frame wherever you want to. It does take a little bit of time to process, but then it gives you 4 or 5 options and it's pretty damn cool to see. You can even change the entire sky, and the way the sky change happens is so realistic. It's not like, Google patches on an unreal looking sky. It does look very, very impressive. You can also add a portrait blur after you've taken the shot using this magic editor feature. Very similar to what the iPhone 15 Pro Max does. But of course, iPhone 15 Pro does it far more seamlessly compared to this, because this does take some time to show you certain results. By the way, when I was using the quick take feature and the magic editor feature, there was this prompt that came up which said that Ultra HDR will not be available. And yes, on the Pixel 8 Pro, you can now shoot Ultra HDR photos, which captures more brightness information as well. So if you have a compatible display which can actually display these Ultra HDR pictures, you should go check it out. iPhone's been doing this for a while, but now it's available on the Pixel 8 Pro as well. It's an Android 14 feature actually. In fact, talking about this feature itself could be a very, very long video, but Mishal Rahman from Android Police talks about how Ultra HDR pictures are useful, and that is going to be the future of photography in an article. So go check that out. I'll add the link in the description below. Alright, coming back to features, you've got a new Pro mode now, and it's implemented so well that even beginners can use it. Because of course, experts have the option for changing the shutter speed or the ISO and even focus peaking for that matter. But for beginners, Google gives you the option of changing the brightness level or the white balance or the shadow detail. It's pretty useful, I should say. And finally, Pixel 7 Pro users will probably be disappointed by the fact that their phone cannot do it, but you can actually get proper 50MP outputs from the Pixel 8 Pro now. The shutter speed is slightly slow, but it works, and the file sizes are not as large as I expected them to be. So up till now, all the features were great, but I saved the best one for last. It's called Audio Eraser. Basically, this is the power of AI. So if you're shooting video in a noisy environment where there's probably, nature sounds or music playing in the background, or just, background noise that you want to cut out, you can do that very easily now. So once you go to Audio Eraser, it actually detects if there's a nature sound or music playing or whatever it is, and you can change the levels. It's so well implemented, and the result that you get is pretty impressive. So we're going to check out the Audio Eraser feature right now in this video. So I'm talking and there's a lot of environmental sound around, and this is how it will change with Google's magical feature. Alright, thank you for all your patience, but here we are. Let's do this. Let's compare the Pixel 8 Pro's cameras against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Now, for the specs, you can take a look at the screen right now and you will see the differences, but let's just jump to the pictures. Alright, starting off, since the iPhone 15 Pro Max outputs at 24 megapixel default, you do get a lot of details without any unnatural sharpening effects added, which is good. But the Pixel 8 Pro captures a lot of details at 12 megapixels as well. However, if you do notice the netting on the turf or the trees, you can see the individual lines clearly on the iPhone compared to the Pixel. That said, this is something that we're noticing with pixel peeping, and most people won't really do that. So if you're going to be uploading directly to social media, both are pretty sharp and detailed. As for the color reproduction, both these phones try to do a very good job of staying close to natural as possible. For example, in this sample, the color reproduction is nearly accurate on the iPhone compared to the Pixel. Pixel looks slightly cold out here. In the second sample, the reds are slightly accentuated on the i20 out here in the iPhone sample, where the Pixel gets it absolutely right. In fact, even the greens and the blues are much better reproduced on the Pixel here. But the Pixel does cut out the warmth in the picture, which the iPhone captures well. In fact, this is something you will notice in the indoor shot as well. All the warmth on the wood captured on the iPhone is missing in the Pixel. Honestly though, you can make this Pixel picture look like an iPhone and the iPhone picture look like a Pixel by just doing some slight edits in post. As for the HDR pictures, while iPhone has improved the dynamic range performance a lot this year, Pixel pushes its lead even further by making it even better. So while both the phones control the highlights well and capture more brightness information in their Ultra HDR pictures, the Pixel 8 Pro captures more details from the darker shadow portion of the image. It does so without letting the noise correction algorithm smudge a lot of details either. Now in the second sample, while the iPhone has definitely reduced the sun to but a pinpoint, the shadow detail is better on the Pixel 8 Pro despite the phone having messed up the scene here. The iPhone has captured all the color temperatures and the mood accurately in this comparison sample. Which one did you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. And generally with focus sources of light, the iPhone is slightly better because that new lens coating seems to be working really well. Now moving on to pictures of people, you would all expect that the Pixel would be the best because it does real tone. Well, that's not really the case. What I could see is that the iPhone 15 Pro Max's skin tones are way more close to natural. Pixel does a good job, but it doesn't do as well to control the red pigmentation here. Now that's for the skin tone. And if you're shooting portraits, the Pixel 8 Pro doesn't even offer you the capability to shoot portraits with the 5x telephoto. It shoots at 1.5x and 2x, but the portrait shots look better on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, no doubt. The edge cutout is more accurate here in our 2x portrait. You can see that strands of hair have been, highlighted by the iPhone, where, Pixel has blurred it out. And at 5x, please allow me to indulge a little bit out here. The iPhone 15 Pro Max's portrait mode is just fantastic. Here are a few samples from a recent trip that I made to Andaman. And oh my god, the pictures look damn good. However, in harsh conditions against the sun, the Pixel does a better job of exposing the face better. Most people would easily pick this picture here. But in softer HDR conditions, the iPhone's picture is more true to life and very well exposed. Plus, the iPhone captures more details too. It's such a seesaw right now. Pixel, iPhone, Pixel, iPhone. However, in low light, Pixel beats the iPhone fair and square. You get more details from the shadow portions of the image, plus the noise control, which was great on the iPhone to begin with, is even better on Pixel. Plus the Pixel algorithm does it without losing any of the details. Despite the brighter exposure on the Pixel, it is close to what the scene was as well. iPhone just keeps shooting way under, if you ask me. Apple really needs to expose the shadows better. But there are times when the iPhone does it better because of better color temperature accuracy alone, like in this scene of the balcony out here. In low light portraits, both are equally good, but iPhone always captures a soft focus image and glosses over the details. Pixel sharpens it slightly to add an oily, watercolory look. However, in certain scenarios, the iPhone is better because it lets you shoot a 5x portrait. Pixel does not. Now moving on to ultrawides, the Pixel 8 Pro's ultrawide camera has been upgraded a lot this year. So it's now a 48 megapixel ultrawide angle camera with a 126 degree field of view. In comparison, the iPhone has 120 degree field of view. The lens correction or the barrel distortion correction around the corners is great on both. But the Pixel 8 Pro's ultrawide is definitely more detailed and offers sharper textures for sure. However, the color sense consistency with the primary camera is spot on both phones. That is something that's like a given on both the phones, so you don't really have to worry about that. Ultrawide HDR performance, just like the primary HDR performance, is better on the Pixel 2, considering you get more details from the shadows. Same is true for the ultrawide low light shots as well. Not only do you get more details from the shadows, the highlight control is better and there is far less noise as well. So if you're looking at a great ultrawide angle camera for shooting great landscapes, Pixel is the way to go. It's better than the iPhone. Also on the Pixel 8 Pro and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you can shoot macro pictures. Both can get really close to the subject. You can even use the 2x and the 5x to shoot macro pictures. Honestly, both are very, very good in terms of capturing details and of course, recreating the macro image itself. So I can't really tell the difference apart, but these are some of the best macro cameras that you can find right now. At 2x, you get an in-sensor crop on both. Pixel's 2x in-sensor crops are slightly more detailed and sharper. Now both the phones also have a dedicated 5x telephoto camera and iPhone can pull in more details for sure with 5x. In fact, at longer zoom ranges above 5x, like at 10x or 25x, the iPhone is much better than Pixel in all the samples that we've captured. Now if you're shooting low light telephoto shots, the 2x in-sensor crop is equally matched on both. But with the 5x, the iPhone clearly beats Pixel. Moving on to selfies, if the Pixel and the iPhone had the same skin tones and the same color reproduction out here, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Because even if you pixel peeped, you get the same amount of details and you get the same level of sharpness as well. There's absolutely no difference whatsoever. And when it comes to skin tones, I can tell you the iPhone gets it spot on once again. Honestly, real tone on the Pixel 8 Pro, at least in its current state, is not as good as Google makes it out to be. Maybe there's a future software update that can fix it. I had faced the red skin problem on the Pixel 7 as well when I tested it initially, and that was far more accentuated of a problem than the Pixel 8 Pro's is. But after an update, it was fixed, so hopefully that happens on the Pixel 8 Pro as well. HDR selfies are slightly better on the Pixel 8 Pro with better control of the haze on the face, which you can see on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But in portrait selfies, the iPhone is just way better. Pixel keeps missing semantic segmentation like this way too often. iPhone is clearly better with edge cutouts and selfies. In fact, the iPhone is also better at low light selfies. You get more details, you get no black crush on my t-shirt, you just get the drift, it's better. In 4K 60 FPS, the iPhone 15 Pro Max shoots warmer footage of people. Pixel's real tone with video seems to be working really well compared to what it was with pictures, which is kind of weird actually. Anyway, both are incredibly detailed footage, nothing to separate the two. However, dynamic range performance and sound quality are both superior on the iPhone. Do let me know what you guys think of the sound quality, the video quality. Do let me know what you guys think of the sound quality, the video quality. Now you can also shoot 4K 30 FPS HDR10 videos on the Pixel 8 Pro, and in comparison you can shoot 10-bit Dolby Vision videos on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But quality-wise, Dolby Vision on iPhone is better than HDR10 on Pixel. One thing I must say, and Google fans will be really happy to hear this, Google has actually improved the low-light video performance on the Pixel 8 Pro. Now, when you're comparing the two, you do get the same level of exposure, but the only advantage on the 15 Pro Max is that it's got slightly better noise control. But the noise control has become so much better on the Pixel 8 Pro compared to the Pixel 7 Pro, that's for sure. That's just such a slight advantage on the iPhone that, earlier there used to be like a night and day difference in video performance between the iPhone and the Pixel. That's definitely not there, at least not with the primary camera. Which brings me to the ultra-wide video quality, which is matched in daylight. But in low light, iPhone's shadow noise correction is incredibly better and you get more details as well. Now, if you want to shoot 5x telephoto video, Pixel actually does hold focus better and the OIS stabilization seems to be better too. It doesn't move around too much. iPhone was a little too wobbly. But that said, if you can hold focus, then the low light 5x telephoto is better on the iPhone 15 Pro Max compared to the Pixel 8 Pro. While selfie video at 4K 60 FPS is great on both in daylight, in low light again, the iPhone wins. But that's also because the Pixel doesn't do noise control well, but it does pull out a lot of details and the focus on the face is much better on the Pixel compared to the iPhone. And you can see more details as well as a result. Finally, with cinematic mode and action mode, the iPhone clearly runs circles around the pixels and there is no doubt in my mind about that. Not only is the feature executed better, but the iPhone can do it at higher resolutions as well. You know what this makes me wonder is that Pixel definitely needs a much better processor. Imagine if there was a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and that ISP used inside the Pixel 8 Pro. How good the camera performance would be. I'm sure there are other issues that would crop up like the AI performance or all the cool editing features that you get with the Photos app. But then again, this is something that Google can definitely try maybe. For all my concerns with the performance aside, the Pixel 8 Pro is a huge camera upgrade over the Pixel 7 Pro, that's for sure. And Pixel fans are definitely going to be happy. But is it a better camera setup than the iPhone 15 Pro Max? Well, there are situations where the Pixel 8 Pro beats the iPhone 15 Pro Max hands down. For example, low light performance is generally way better. You also get more AI features and the ultra-wide angle camera is superior on the Pixel 8 Pro compared to the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But when it comes to pictures of people, portraits, sharpness, or video features like cinematic mode, action mode, or low light video, all of that on the iPhone 15 Pro Max is better. And I'm not even getting into ProRes or log videos that is capable on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. See, technicalities wise and capability wise, the iPhone 15 Pro Max definitely is a more pro camera setup than the Pixel 8 Pro. But features wise, maybe the Pixel 8 Pro wins. And I seriously think that the iPhone 15 Pro Max's camera setup has been upgraded by so much this year, especially the action mode at 5x, the 5x portraits. The 5x camera is so good. You know what, let me again indulge a little bit and show you some more footage from Andamans. Just go check it out. Alright, cameras and maybe software apart, is the Pixel doing enough to win more audience or fans in other markets apart from US and Japan where it has had a fantastic year thus far? Is the AI performance alone enough to win more audience in the India and Europe markets? Well, I can talk for India. The performance is not matched for the price for sure. It's a little too much. When it goes down in price, it'll definitely be a great proposition for sure. Also, one more thing I must mention is that I haven't tested out the battery life yet, so that's something that needs to be checked as well to see if the battery performance is good. And there are a lot of extra new features that have been added, like the temperature sensor and the fact that you can actually use the front camera for face recognition for even in banking apps as well. All of those are definitely there. So if you guys want a detailed review, do let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely do that for you. For now, what do you guys think of the Pixel 8 Pro? I'd love to know your thoughts as well, and I hope this video was useful. Alright, I know that this video was a long one, so thank you for being patient with me, but I think that it was very important to do it this way. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.